to remind myself to remind you.
Thank you.
Oh, please stand.
Okay. All right. Welcome to our December 2nd Board of Supervisors meeting. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Thank you for being here. Looks like we got a large crowd and a full agenda, so we probably need to get started. And Craig Matsky, would you pray for
I'll
us?
be glad to. Let's open in prayer. Father, thank you for this time that you give us together, this time of fellowship together, Lord, this time of conducting the county business together, the importance of it. Thank you for our community. Thank you for the ability that you have given us, Lord, to participate in our own government. Father, it's a privilege for us to be able to come together and to determine what is in the best interest of all the citizens of our county. I thank you for giving these men to us, Lord, the sacrifices that they make and the willingness that they have to come and to serve their community. I pray, Father, that you'll bless them, that you'll keep them humble, Father, that you will help them with wisdom and discernment today, that you'll give them everything that they need to make good decisions. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Craig. First, under public comments, we have Mickey Watts. Come on forward. Come on up. Yes, sir.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. I'm here just to talk about the health insurance and answer any questions you may have. As you can see, I'm on this front page that has all the numbers on it at the moment. Your claims are up again this year on a per member per month, so that's everybody that's covered under your plan. Y'all are paid about $451 for every single person that's covered on your plan per month, okay? That's up pretty substantially, and that does come into play. You know, y'all are a self-funded health plan, so basically y'all pick up the first $100,000 of risk on everyone. Anything above that is picked up by the reinsurance carrier, and these kind of numbers do come into play when we shop these. The middle part shows that y'all are self-funded with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they're, you know, y'all have had about 14.6 million in full retail claims paid this year. That does not include pharmacy. This is for everything except pharmacy, and you're getting about a 72% discount. So because of Blue Cross, essentially for every dollar that's being billed, y'all are paying 28 cents on the dollar, okay, between you and your covered members who have to pay their deductibles, co-pays, et cetera, okay? So it comes to about, so you're not gonna beat that anywhere. I mean, you're just not gonna beat that anywhere. The very bottom part is the most important thing. This is comparing 24 to 25. I sent your reinsurance renewal out to 15 different carriers, and then the incumbent would be 16, so 16 different people looked at it. 11 of them declined a quote, saying that they could not be competitive. Had 4 competitive quotes, and other than the incumbent, they came back, and after they did their those were the preliminary rates, then they do their underwriting. 2 of them declined a quote after that, so we were down to 3. The incumbent initially came out with about a 17% increase. I did get 1 competitive quote that allowed me to leverage that down to a 7.7% increase. You'll also have 2 lasers for this year. Y'all have had lasers before, It's on two people that we've had lasers on in the past. One of them is for 200,000, one is for 140,000. So that means that you pick up the first 140 on one, it's not an additional 140, it's just an additional 40 and an additional 100. And so that's the overall increase. Blue Cross did not increase your admin fee this year, so that equates to about a 5.8% overall increase because of that. And then I just have some data on the back. I will say one of the things that we have talked about in the past is the possibility, I know y'all like Blue Cross. We did solicit a quote from UMR, which is a subsidiary of United Healthcare, to utilize the United Healthcare network, but you know, Blue Cross at the end of the day came back as the better deal. It would have caused your reinsurance premiums to go up a little bit more, based primarily on the fact that they're not going to come close to a 72% increase discount. And any questions on any of this? 7% and the two lasers.
Yeah, where are you gonna find the money for us to pay all this?
Keith, where we're gonna find the money to pay?
Hey.
I'm sorry, I started a thought. One of the things that we have talked about with Blue Cross in the past is their refusal to allow clients to carve out pharmacy. Pharmacy is an increasing problem for the board, and it's not just y'all, it's everybody, okay? This is not unique to y'all. But they are going to start doing that January 1st. I explained to Keith when I met with them. This is the first time that they have attempted this. I did send y'all's pharmacy data out. There were some opportunities to potentially save money on the pharmacy side of things, but I have had multiple conversations with their VP of sales out there, and she told me about this in September, and when I talked to her a week before last, they were still working to get this worked out. I don't want you guys to be the guinea pig for this. I don't want you guys to be getting phone calls on January 1st from your employees saying, they said I don't have coverage when I went to pick up my prescription. So what I would like to do is I would like to revisit this, possibly even the middle of next year. Once I find out how things are going, I will tell you now, one of the things that I do think is non-negotiable is the fact that the Blue Cross Association will not allow them to put another logo on their ID card. So your employees would have to carry two ID cards, one for the medical, one for the pharmacy. Okay, so be thinking about that. But if the opportunities does present itself and there are some savings to be had, I think it's something that, you know, I would like for y'all to at least consider.
Mickey, I do have one question. Why is our total members down?
Well, that's only 10 months now.
Okay.
That's only 10 months. So, you know, and I do carve you guys out. This is strictly your data. I do Region 8 separate. So this is strictly your data. You know, they're still part of y'all's,
Right.
you know, plan.
Hopefully a good part.
Hadn't been good this year, but, you know, they carried y'all a few years. Y'all are probably carrying them this year
Okay,
a little bit.
all right.
That it?
Yep.
No more questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we have, Miss Cassandra Carter has signed up, to come up to talk to us under public comment. Ms. Carter, when you come to the stand, would you give us your name and address? Because I didn't get that on the sign-in sheet.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all doing?
Good.
My name is Cassandra Carter. I live in District 5 at 126 Chestnut Drive in Brandon, Oak Grove subdivision. I'm a homeowner there. I moved in my home 3 years ago. And twice out of the 3 years I've been there, my home has flooded due to a ditch behind my home, from my understanding. I was not aware of this. I moved in the area because it's a no-flood zone. And twice, my home has flooded. And there is a stabilization and restoration project going on in my area right now. I was under the impression that the ditch behind my home would be a part of that project. But recently I found out that it won't be. It's very traumatizing to know that when I get heavy rain, my home could possibly flood. So I'm here today to find out, you know, how I could get some resolution with this ditch behind my home to prevent it from flooding my home any longer.
Yeah, I don't have the answer, so, you know.
You're familiar with,
Oh, yes, we've spoken many times over the last
Many
couple of
times.
years.
I have.
But our project, when it was selected, the one we're doing over currently and are almost through with, it just did the main tributary going from Old Fannin all the way across the soccer fields. And unfortunately, her house is off one of those. And really, it was unknown to us at the time when we were doing this that it was flooding, or else obviously they would have been at the top of the list. So it's not just her house, it's an adjacent house also that floods.
Yeah, so that property is a rental property, but there were 2 renters there each time our home flooded. One of them actually, her husband works for the Sheriff Department of Rankin County. His name is John. I can't think of their last name, but they were there when the homes flooded. Again, I do not have flood insurance because that was the whole point of moving in that area. Yeah.
And, hey, I'm her son, James Carter. While I'm here, and she has pictures, by the way,
I do.
of the flood, and they're over your ankle when the flooding happens, and it destroys all of her carpet, furniture, and everything. So she's out of pocket for that, you know. So we're really here, honestly, to try to figure out if there's anything the city could do.
Yeah.
As it relates to her, because it's 2 properties.
Right.
She's a homeowner there. The other property, you know, people come and go, and the owner, we don't know where he is.
Well, they
So-
wouldn't give me any information when I tried to find out because, of course, due to confidentiality, they could not provide that information. But, like I said, one of the renters were there. He works for the Sheriff Department of Rankin County, and his wife, you know, she let me know that, you know, if there's anything she could do as far as speaking on my behalf to let you all know how bad it was. And it's really bad. I went back and forth with my insurance company about it, you know, but because I did not have flood insurance, it was just really difficult with them as well, to try to get some resolution and get some remediation for my home.
Have you have you got flood insurance previous? I mean, have you checked on it? You said you're not in a flood zone?
I'm not in a flood zone, and that's why I moved there.
Right.
Each time my home flooded, I checked, I called, you know, to find out, are you sure this is not a flood zone?
But usually you can get flood insurance and it's cheap if you're not in the flood zone. You know, you still can get it and it's a whole lot cheaper versus you being classified, you know, in a flood zone. I didn't know if you had checked on that, you know, as
No.
far as.
But it's still.
Right, I mean, I know that's not
flood
gonna
zone.
fix the issue or the problem, but I was
No.
just, you know, saying for some relief, you know, if you get flood insurance, you know, until something could be done, I mean, it's usually a lot cheaper because you're not classified in a, you know, the flood zone, you know. That might be an option just to help you out, you know, if it happens again before something can get resolved, you know. I didn't know if y'all was aware that you still could get that.
I mean,
We're aware that she can get the flood insurance.
Right.
But, I mean, it's still an expense.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's still an expense, and, I mean,
Craig, what you got anyone?
Yeah, so, and this is one of those classic situations where you guys are kind of in a little bit of a trick bag. We don't have the authority to go onto private property to address any issue unless we can demonstrate that there's a public need or some sort of public benefit. And we have to deal with this issue all over the county, as you guys know. The FEMA flood maps are designed to be kind of guesses as to what stormwater's gonna do. It's not always accurate, and oftentimes we'll have flood events, and Ms. Carter's been the victim of at least 2 flood events where you had extraordinary rain events that overwhelmed all of the systems. That ditch is classified as private property. Most people don't see it that way, they don't understand that, but the truth of the matter is the county, when it accepts the plat of a platted subdivision, it doesn't accept any of the property that is outside of the roads or the road rights of way. You only accept what's in the road. So ditches that are between houses, ditches that are behind houses, where they are outside the road right of way, are not accepted for public maintenance. They remain private property. Even if they're not a part of a platted lot,
Yeah.
that ditch belongs to either the developer of the subdivision or to the HOA of the subdivision. It doesn't belong to the people of Rankin County or to this board or to the Board of Supervisors. It's not, unless it's in the road or the road right of way, it's not public. And you, by law, can't spend taxpayer money on private property unless you can demonstrate clearly, strong evidence that there is a public benefit to that expenditure. So unless this issue of the flooding can be tied directly to road damage, road right-of-way damage, potential bridge failure, there are a number of ways that we can look beyond just the road right-of-way to address an issue on private property, but you've got to connect the potential for the damage to your public property. That's a difficult situation. Just a quick reminder, because you gave me the floor, Mr. President. I want to remind you guys, ourselves, everybody on this side, anybody listening, that this board has been very, very active in trying to find solutions to this very issue. How can we figure out how to let the public deal with matters of stormwater specifically that are on private property, knowing that we will have occasions like this where people's private property is damaged by stormwater not being under control. You guys have said, let's figure that out. It's a very complex issue, but we want to try to address it. And I think that's appropriate for you guys to pull all the stops out that we can to try to figure out how to do that. You've gone so far as to spend a pile of money trying to encourage the state legislature to give you the framework and the authority to be able to tend to this. And for reasons that everybody's familiar with, most everybody in this room is familiar with, politically, we ran up against strong and powerful opposition to that. Mostly private property interests that wanted nothing to do with a framework that would allow the government to try to start addressing this. In fact, you were told directly, you better not do that. We want nothing to do with that. Very powerful interests, right? And so we had to drop back and start over, start from square one to try to figure out how can we crack this nut? How can we figure out a way to do that? Recently, we found a law that's already in place that could potentially allow us to start addressing these intractable issues, and they're all over the county. It's not just District 5. They're all over the county. We're dealing with stormwater that is out of control all over Rankin County, and it's a problem that has to be addressed at some point. And so we found another law that maybe that could be the vehicle to go through. But recently, what we've come up against is that that law requires this board to go into partnership with other political subdivisions to go together to try to address these issues. And that the necessity of there being a partnership has created problems. It's hard to find willing partners who know that they will have to accept some of the financial responsibility for that. It's hard to find willing partners who are willing to do the hard lifting, the heavy lifting and hard work that it's gonna be to put together a way to deal with these issues. The whole point of me addressing you about what you guys have been up to and the difficulties we've run against is to stress to the people of Rankin County, if you, as a citizen of Rankin County, want your government to be able to address some of these intractable stormwater issues, if you want that, you have to be willing to participate in that politically and financially. There's not another way to address this. It's gonna take political will and it's gonna take money to try to address these issues. And to this point, there has not been enough of either of those, political will or money, to try to figure out how to deal with these issues. So what are we left with? We're left with figuring out how to connect an issue on private property to damage on public property. And unless we can make that connection, we don't have the legal authority to deal with it.
Well, Ms. Carter, in just common terms, what you have is gonna take money to fix the ditch. And we have those in a lot of places in Rankin County. To do it, we have to spend some money. We don't have a way to make money up here. We get money from people paying their taxes. And at the end of the year, we're balanced, really. It's not that we have this much left over. We generally are cutting some places. There's enough people in Rankin County that says, my place is not flooding. Why should I pay to fix the place over there that's 10 miles from me that is flooding? I don't want to do this. You understand what I'm saying? Because the taxes are, however you say it, it's taxes to fund something to do this. Right now, what Craig was saying, we can look at it. And I suppose Mike may have you already looked at it, Mike? Mike and Tim, Mike is our road manager, Tim's our engineer. They can look and see if there's something that the road is doing that we're causing it, or that it's something that's impairing our road, then it's possible we could do something small. I don't know. But I'm gonna ask Mike to not today. Mike, you take a good look at it, and Tim, and let the Carters and this board know if there's anything that the county can do while we're in this time that we're trying to put together a stormwater program. That doesn't help you from being flooded in the past, but we are well aware of it, and it's one of the toughest problems we have right now in the county.
Yes, because it's behind my lot. It's not, of course, a part of my property. You know,
That's the thing.
It's
That
a-
we figure out if it's private property or
All right,
if it's public.
there ain't no HOA gonna be able to cover this cost,
Nope.
you know,
And
even if they were willing to, really.
And there has been a lot of drain issues in that area. And I'm almost certain all of it is associated with, that ditch is associated with it.
Yes, ma'am.
And it affects the road. So yes, if someone could please look at it and get back with me as soon as possible, because like I said, it's traumatizing to know
understand.
when we have heavy rain, you know, will my home get flooded? I'm not sure, you know, like you say, other homes may not be flooded, but my home is being affected on the inside, not just on the outside.
I have been flooded. I totally understand.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're so very
And,
welcome, and thank you all for just allowing me to speak here today.
Give your contact information to those guys. Oh, never mind, he's got it.
Yes, he does.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. All right, on our agenda next, we have, old business.
Motion to approve minutes.
Jay makes a motion to approve minutes of November 15th and November 27th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. All right, has everybody had a chance to look at the consent agenda? Do I have a motion? Jay makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second this one.
Brad seconds this one. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Miss Stacy, come on up.
Morning.
Morning.
Item A, petitions to adjust 24 homestead exemption supplemental roll.
Motion approved.
All right, Brad makes a motion to approve. Scott seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
And B,
B.
petitions for change of assessment on 23 and 24 personal and 24 real property assessments.
Motion approved.
Brad makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Scott seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Harrison,
Good morning.
Morning.
Road work accomplished for November and road work scheduled for December.
have a motion.
Make a motion approved.
Brad makes a motion to approve. Jay seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Request approval for Atmos, on Spillway Road installed between Eagle Point and Highway 471, District 2.
So moved.
Scott makes a motion.
Second.
Sid seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
We'll take C and D together, be requested utility fiber along, Spillway Road. Be two different places, one at North Shore and one at Hugh Ward. This will be at, Southern Lightning is the fiber company.
I'm gonna make a motion, but I'm taking notes as well.
Okay. Scott makes a motion. Jay seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank y'all for this.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Item A is on the Live Oaks ARPA project, program element 3.02. We're recommending approval of change order number 2 in the amount of an increase of $32,775. This is for additional items for the project, some fencing that's going to be done around the detention area and some curbs that were damaged during the construction process to remove those and replace those. So we're recommending approval of that change order.
All right.
I'll make a motion approved.
Brad makes a motion to approve. All right. Scott seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Item B, Mr. President, is on the same project, program element 3.02. We're recommending approval of pay app number 6 from Hodges Land Services in the amount of $375,213.22 and authority to issue the check.
Motion approved.
Brad makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Scott seconds the motion. Any other discussion?
That is the last payout.
No, sir, there'll be one, there'll be a final, yes, sir, we should have one more.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Mr. Slay, it's your time again.
Morning, gentlemen. First item under item A is to set a public hearing for the 16th at 9 a.m. This is the Albert McRae conditional use permit, Pilgrim Rest Drive. This is District 4 property. It looks like item B is going to also be a setting for December the 16th for Robert Foxworth, conditional use permit. That's District 5. It'd be appropriate.
It's actually 4. It's on there's 5, but it's,
Okay,
it's 4.
that's District 4, yes. All right. So we could take both items A and B as one motion if that's acceptable.
I make a motion to set those, for December 16th.
Second.
And I made the motion, Brad seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Gentlemen, item C is a public hearing on the Green Earth Materials rezoning request. This is Fallen Oak Drive. This is District 4 property. I'm going to open that public hearing. Green Earth Materials LLC is seeking to rezone a portion of parcel K14-4 from C2 to RE1. This property is adjacent to the Fallen Oaks subdivision, and they are proposing phase 5 of the existing development of that property to include 11 lots, and this would be lots numbered 80 through 90. So this would be a rezoning request to change this particular parcel from its current zoning of C2 to RE1. Whenever the board is considering a rezoning request, it can consider that request internally on the basis of the potential for an error in the original rezoning. That would be a justification to include the rezoning. Another justification would be a recognition that there is in fact a change in the character or the quality or the condition of the neighborhood, the neighboring properties. And on this occasion, I can fashion an argument for both of those potential indices, one being that C2 being immediately adjacent to a single-family dwelling oriented subdivision could potentially be classified as an error in the original zoning. But I think it's probably safer just to say that the character and condition of the neighborhood has changed to such a degree that C2 no longer makes sense for that particular area, and RE1 would be an appropriate designation. I just mention all that as a pretext for your evaluation of the request before we get to any discussion about it. At this time, that public hearing is open. I'll ask if there is anyone here to speak in opposition to the Green Earth Materials LLC rezoning request. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition on that matter? Mr. President, I don't see anyone here to speak in opposition on that matter. Unless the board has questions, and I believe that there are representatives of the applicant who are present, unless the board has questions, we can move forward to close that public hearing and be appropriate to take action.
All right. Let's close it.
All right, public hearing is closed. Mr. President, it'd be appropriate to take action.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
All right, I make a motion, Scott second motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Gentlemen, the next item, item D, is a receipt of request for tax exemption pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated section 2731-1 from Mississippi Methodist Hospital and Rehabilitation Center, Inc. This is for parcel E10H 1540 and E10H 1540A. As you know, the Methodist Hospital and Rehabilitation Center, Inc. is an Eliam-Masonary organization, 501c3 organization qualified for federal tax exemption. They conduct charitable and nonprofit work. They would qualify under Section D of 2731-1 for that tax exemption, and it would be your staff's recommendation that they be granted that exemption. Just need a motion to approve.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Scott makes a motion.
Second.
Sid seconds motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Item E is going to be similar, but there is a distinction here, and I want to mention that. I'll highlight that. This is a receipt of a request for tax exemption from the Baptist Children's Village, but it's for a parcel, and by the way, it's under 2731-1D. Baptist Children's Village is a qualified charitable entity provides charitable services, long reputation of providing charitable services in our community. Well thought of organization. They have requested a tax exemption on a parcel of real property, J7A-1-480. This is a lot that is in Stonebridge subdivision. This is a house that's been purchased by Baptist Children's Village for the purpose of housing what would be parents, put that in quotes, parents of kids when they are not at the location of Baptist Children's Village taking care of the orphans that are at Baptist Children's Village. These are house parents. This would be a location for them to have a time away, a respite away. And so this is a separate parcel of property that'll be used as a part of Baptist Children's Village routine and regimen. So they would, ostensibly, they will qualify for the exemption. Here's the difference. Stonebridge is a planned or public utility, a public improvement district, a PID. And so what this board can do is grant an exemption from ad valorem, but you don't have the authority to grant an exemption from the PID payment assessment that is charged annually. And so I have spoken to the president, the executive director of Baptist Children's Village, and explained that, and they completely understand that and understand that they will continue to receive a bill for the PID assessment annually. And the annual PID assessment for Stonebridge is in the neighborhood of somewhere between $900 and $1,000, and it's going to be somewhere close to $1,200. It's not insignificant to live in a PID, and we've got at least 2 of those in the county that I know of. So that there will be a PID assessment, and you will not be granting any exemption as to the PID assessment. So I wanted to clarify that. The motion that I would get would be for an ad valorem exemption under subsection D of 2731.1. So I would need a motion to that effect to grant the ad valorem exemption, but to recognize on the minutes that the PID assessment will still be due.
Make a motion to approve.
Jay makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Sid seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
Mr. President, the next item under my section is a discussion of and potential action on an MOU with the city of Flowood. This is for the Fannie Cook Parkway. This is a planned roadway that is coming out of the ground. So, well, we're getting ready to. And one of the first steps that we have to do is to address a request that has come from the city of Flowood for the county's participation in this roadway project. That would be done by way of an MOU, a formal agreement between the city and the county that addresses the obligations of both. And so this particular roadway has a portion of it that will in fact be routed through unincorporated county. It'll leave the city of Flowood, go beyond its municipal boundary, and go into unincorporated county. That's why your participation is being requested. Eventually, the MDOTs of the world are going to want to know how the county is a participant, if at all, and so this MOU will address that. I reviewed the MOU that was put together by the attorney for the city of Flowood. I made a couple of changes in that, and I've sent those to Rusty for his review. Rusty is somewhere in England or France. I'm not really sure, so he's not available for us to get all the way to the end of the discussion about this. What I would propose be done, if it's in keeping, Jay, if you're okay with this, let's go ahead and approve the MOU as I have edited it, with the understanding that if there are significant edits that come back our way from the city of Flowood, we'll need to address that again, but otherwise we can go ahead and have this ready for signature. My edits were to address how it is that we're going to cooperate with the city on assigning responsibilities to professionals or to contractors when it gets time to start talking about construction, design, and other things. We need to be on the same page about who's going to be responsible for that. And then I wanted to put a little bit of a qualifier in here that when we get to a point of discussion about commitments, the county's commitment and the city's commitment to primarily to fund this thing, that there is a clear understanding about who is obligated for what and at what percentage. And so I have proposed a blank where the percentage should go for the county's participation responsibility, and I'm waiting to hear back what that number should be, and I will address that with you guys when we get to that
So that
point.
language was not in there
No, sir.
originally?
No, sir. It was not addressed in any manner. In other words, I couldn't have discerned from the language, Jay, that we were in for half. There's just nothing there. And so I have inserted that because I think this board would want to know, what are we signing up for here, right? And what's going to be the total cost of the project? To date, this project has received federal and state funding support to provide for the initial design work, the environmental work, some of those pre-construction activities. All of that, according to what I understand from reading this, has been funded by both state and federal dollars that have been appropriated
So far.
so far. But I don't think the funding that I see here is gonna be sufficient to get the thing built.
Right.
And so we know that the process for building this is gonna be somewhat long and drawn out. It's unclear exactly how that's gonna be brought together and what the resulting responsibility of the county might be. I'd like to see that included in this agreement on the front end so that for posterity, anybody that's associated with the agreement in the future understands what the obligations are.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be fine just to wait, or when you go ahead and prove it now, Jack?
I think knowing what he just said, we probably need to wait and see, let the information get filled in and go from there.
Don't take no action.
I would think that by the 15th, 16th,
16.
whenever we're meeting, by the 16th, we may hear back and have some guidance on that, Jay. So if, with your permission, we'll just pass this today, and I'll ask Ms. Samantha to get it on the 16th agenda for us, and we'll talk about it then.
All right.
All right? I didn't want to be the holdup. So, all right, so we'll move on to item G, discussion of potential action. This is on Palo Verde subdivision. Gentlemen, this has been around for a long time, trying to deal with this particular issue. So we're here in need of some guidance from the board on what, if anything, we need to do to address the situation out there. Just a quick reminder, I think I said this at the work session, the ball is clearly in the court of the developer and the developer's engineer. We continue to wait for an approvable plat for Palo Verde Phase 2A. That plat will address the extension of the existing developer-owned, developer responsibility streets, the extension of those streets, and the inclusion of cul-de-sacs to accommodate additional lots that are planned for development. Street extensions and cul-de-sacs. Without a plat, we are not in a position, the county is not in a position to be able to figure out where exactly are these street exemptions gonna be and to what degree are they gonna be there, and how do they relate to existing lots. There's a number of questions that the plat needs to address, and we don't have that. There are also commitments and responsibilities on the part of the developer that will be put into the plat. Literal language that forms the basis of a contract that the developer is then responsible to carry out before it triggers the responsibility of the county. All of this needs to be encapsulated within the context of litigation that is being settled. Okay? So we've got a settlement agreement, we've got a court order that literally approves the settlement and defines what the obligations of the parties is. And one of those obligations is for the developer to submit a plat that can be approved. And that has not happened yet. In the meantime, we've got streets, existing streets that continue to have problems, the whole reason for the litigation. And you've got residents who currently live out there who have trouble accessing their property. So we're looking to you guys to help us figure out what is a pathway to try to resolve competing issues. I don't want to step on the settlement.
So Craig, even whenever he does submit the plat, there's not gonna be money available until he sells property, right?
Yes, sir. Part of the settlement, Jay, is that in an unusual fashion, but we are talking about settling litigation here. Once the plat's approved, he can actually start selling lots. That's unusual, because the street extensions will not yet be in place.
Yeah.
So the agreement is that,
He's gotta sell the lots to get the money up to be able to do the streets.
yeah, so we've always looked at this as reimbursement, Jay, to be quite honest with you. I've
Yeah.
always felt like the county was going to incur costs to get the streets extended and then be reimbursed from lot sales.
Really?
I've always felt like that was how this was going to play out. That we would front and get it done and get those people out there relief, by the way, because their accesses are gonna be improved as a product of us doing the street extensions ourselves. You may ask yourself, why didn't we just require the developer to extend the streets as per normal course? Our history with this developer suggests if we want the streets to be something that we want to inherit for public purposes, we don't need him responsible for them.
Mr. Slay, is there a timeline that we should expect that plat? Or
There-
anything to do with the litigation?
There is not currently a timeline. Honestly, the truth of the matter is, we didn't believe in our wildest imaginations, I'm looking at my engineer, that we would have to set a timeline, because everything that we were hearing was, I'm being held up by the county. I can't do anything because the county is slow playing this. I'm mystified as to why are we sitting here waiting on him to give us a plat that we can act on? I don't know the answer to that.
He can't,
Probably can't afford it.
he can't work it out to get it, the road where he wants it to be.
But didn't Tim go out and get us some numbers? Tim and Mike.
Yeah, so y'all, where are we at to be able to get these people some asphalt to ride on?
Or 610.
So we looked at it
Something,
a
yeah.
couple of ways, actually three. Durango is in pretty good shape. Really, all it needs is some asphalt on it. The county has done some work prior on it when it was in really bad shape.
That's the one
years
that
ago.
we already did 610.
Correct, and
Okay.
chip seal.
Chip seal, yeah.
Is it
Plantation,
still private? The road?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
yes, the developer still has those. So Plantation still has some asphalt on it. It's got a good bit of rot where there were base failures, and it's been repaired with rock. Del Rio, which is the one when you're going into the left, is the one is in the worst shape. But to redo Del Rio and Plantation, and when I say redo, reprocess what's there, lime it, set it back down, and put 4.5 inches of asphalt on it. Do some dig out in some undercut areas that have some clay in them. It's about $210,000. If you did the same thing, didn't put the base asphalt down, and put 610, it'd be about $150,000. But when Mike and I went out there and looked at it last Wednesday, really for an immediate fix for the people that are out there now to get to their houses, Durango is fine. Plantation, you could just put a layer of asphalt on it. Del Rio, you're gonna have to do some grading because it's just lost its crown and its profile. But just put a little asphalt on there. So probably for less than 50,000, probably closer to $25,000, $30,000 range, you could go out there and put some asphalt down, get it to where those folks can, have a decent way to get to their property, and then wait till after the construction process on this new phase, because you're gonna be building road out there then, and then you can come in and do your lineman and all at one time. I think you'd be,
Which
maybe.
is basically what the county did on Durango.
Right.
Yeah.
And which one of those is the construction entrance?
Del Rio would be the one that the construction entrance is proposed over, which would be the one to the left. Go ahead.
Somebody wait.
Yeah, I have to see, we'll see, after we get through our discussion, we'll see where we go.
So, without looking, I think I showed y'all the other day, so I think what's happened, he has sold all the lots to where he doesn't have one continuous piece of property any longer. And so that, there's two different road names, but it looks like that will be the construction entrance for all the property that's left to the right side. Cause there's no other way to access it unless he goes straight down the middle.
Which is
without-
one of the reasons, Jay, why we want a plat.
Right, but-
Because that
yeah,
locks
I
him
get it.
in, and it forces him, as long as he continues to retain ownership of this extra property, he has to come back to this board before he does any additional development of any kind. That, we gotta have that.
Have we got reimbursed for anything that we spent on the private stuff?
Yes, sir.
We
We
have?
have. In the past, Sid, we have had construction activity out there that has gone on public, streets that has damaged the public portion of Plantation Boulevard. And this board, or the prior board, declared an emergency that, allowed for the county to go out and address repairs so people could get access to their homes. School buses could run, emergency vehicles could get to houses where we had a problem. We had to take immediate steps to do that. There was a cost associated with that, and the board allowed me to pursue recovery of that, and we recovered. In fact, we recovered all of the money we spent in the emergency. So yes, we have in fact pursued recovery from private sources for damage to public roads and private roads, both. Now, I'm confident folks in this room know we probably lost money on that deal
I don't think so.
somewhere.
Yeah.
We've probably done more than beyond just that emergency that we've incurred costs on, but that was to help out folks out there that were really struggling and suffering and having to deal with a bad situation.
But yeah, man, this has been drug out forever, though.
I just hate to spend a lot of money in there, knowing there's gonna be construction traffic driving on whatever we put down.
Who knows, one day, maybe.
Is there a way to recover if we do this and correct this, as you suggested, to recover those costs as well as the other?
Not currently. Scott, we didn't anticipate that we were gonna have to take this step. I'm sure we would be in construction by now, construction being the county's obligation under the settlement agreement to go ahead and extend these streets. That would be digging out and doing this repair work that Tim was just describing to you. We should have already been doing that. That plat should have already been received weeks ago, if not months ago, and you should have already approved it, and Mike and his guys should have already been out there doing work. So your other option, by the way, is to not address the situation yourself, but to instruct me to go back to the judge and ask the judge to intervene, because we can't seem to get any movement on the settlement.
That would be my
Enforce the settlement.
recommendation. That's what I would recommend.
Okay. With the board's authorization, we will alert the court, we can't move forward with the settlement because the plaintiff, or the defendant, refuses to provide his obligation, which is an approvable plat.
I'm afraid we'll be spending this money twice. And maybe if we get a court order, we won't have to spend it twice. We'll get the plat.
Why, today's the first time I ever heard that we were gonna be putting in all the roads. So all I wanna do is just get these people where they can get to their house, you know? I mean,
Is it that bad? I hadn't seen it. Is it that
well,
bad?
I mean, they can get to it, but you going through potholes and.
We're gonna let you speak,
and
sir.
It's
Just-
not asphalt.
Right. Well, I
You
mean,
know.
can it be done with 610? I got some gravel roads in my area. I mean, you know,
We've gone out there, at one point in time, there was some asphalt on it, but it is crumbled, and so basically, it's all it is
The road bed was,
right.
610
No
and
base.
chunks of asphalt.
So one thing I'll say is if you just went in now and put some asphalt down, not a real heavy application, that could be either milled back up, the county could use the milling, or incorporated into the subgrade when we reprocess it and do the alignment and all down the road, so.
It may not be lost.
It's not a total loss, and that's the fix, it's, $20,000-$25,000.
That's one road, right?
No, sir, that's two.
Two roads.
And Durango right now is fine. It's like, any chip seal road in the county. I mean, it's not a problem at all.
So you're saying 25,000 to put some blacktop over it now?
On the two roads that are the worst, Plantation and Del Rio. And like I said, Del Rio is gonna require a little motor grader work.
That's not us extending the road. It's
No,
just-
sir, that's it. That's
Each
just to
one.
the properties that are there now that have houses on them. That's not extending that's not doing anything new. Really not even addressing the little cul-de-sacs they got at the end of them now, because Mike can put a little 610 there and their service is turnaround, that's fine. This is just to get beyond the houses.
But is that gonna last, if the base is not any good, if the road bed's not any good up under it, you're putting,
Traffic driving over it'd be fine.
Just like cars and trucks be going over, so it'll hold up.
That's hard to say. I mean, there's probably gonna be some damage to it, Ted.
Right.
But, I mean, if we do it the correct way and go through the process of alignment and all with that much construction traffic, I mean, the soil out there is not great anyway, and, if you undercut it all, you still are gonna have some
We're
problems.
just temporarily fixing it till we get the
That's right.
judge and everything worked out.
All right. Mike, Tim, Craig, can we take somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000, get the two roads passable, safe for the houses that are already there, and Craig, try to get the judge to push this thing, because that's the end of it. I mean,
We will get a hearing set, yes, sir, immediately.
Alright.
We'll get a hearing
Okay.
set and ask the court to intervene.
all right, let me ask this man back here if he has something before we make a motion and vote. Sir, what,
Would you like to come
Would
up?
you
and
like to
address the
speak?
board?
is that fine with y'all?
Yeah.
I mean, I think,
Yeah, I'm John Woods, I've been here several times before, 177 Plantation Boulevard. I know probably more about this than anybody, but not as much in detail as your road guy and everybody, because I've been out there 5 years. But let me just start and maybe finish with this. If you lived out there and spent over $500,000 on your house, and you had to wait 5 years for somebody to take care of the street in front of your house, well, I really don't know what you want to do. But ask your wife if that's too long. Well, that's what I'm having to put up with every day. And I don't know all there is to know about asphalt, though I have a son who's a worldwide expert. But whatever you did on Durango worked. I mean, there's been 2 houses built on Durango since that was put down. All that construction, all the dirt, no problems, works great. But my street, which was probably put down by Joe Edwards, and that's why it's
What street are you on?
not acceptable.
Plantation, okay.
Plantation, yeah. Is just tears up, and it's been torn up every time you have put money into it. I appreciate you trying to do that, but whatever you did, it tore up. So all I'm asking for me, and probably for the people that are also on Del Rio, is that whatever we do, we gotta acknowledge that there's gonna be more construction traffic gets through there if Joe ever figures out how to do a plat and can work something out with you, though my guess is, contrary to what I told you a year ago, Mr. Slade, you did the right thing, suing him, because nothing would have happened if you hadn't. We'd still be sitting here with nothing going on. So whatever you do, there's probably gonna be construction traffic coming down Plantation Boulevard from Del Rio, the two you're about to do something about, hopefully. And I don't wanna have to go through this again with my wife, where it looked great for about an hour and a half in our lifespan. But then here comes the construction traffic and it tore up again, and not only am I having to deal with it, you just, in a sense, wasted your money, though I did hear what he said about that being part of the subsidy labor. So I'm just asking that whatever we do, make it last as long as possible.
All right, thank you.
I do want to address that. Thank you, Mr. Woods.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Ms. Woods has been really patient, and I appreciate that. I do want to remind everybody that we are on video, so to the extent that there's concern that the wife might find out something, it is recorded. We are being recorded. So you have to be careful. Let me address, Brad, your comment about no construction traffic. Part of the reason why we are here where we are today is because of construction traffic that has been allowed to basically have free reign of the streets of this subdivision with no real control, no way to control how that construction traffic would operate and at what speed and at what weight. So the roads were both substandard, but you also had some construction traffic that I would call unusual, inordinate, a lot of dirt moving in and around this particular area, and none of it under any sort of real control. So part of the settlement, and we spent a lot of time addressing this as a portion of the settlement of the litigation with Mr. Edwards, was in fact enforcing and requiring him to construct a construction entrance for all of the new lots that will ostensibly be brought online if he ever submits a plat, right? You're gonna have to build the houses. So you're gonna have concrete trucks, and you're gonna have framing crews and trucks, and you're gonna have some pretty serious weight. And so we have required Mr. Edwards to provide, as a part of the plat, a dedicated construction entrance that comes across his property from Church Road. From Church Road. The reason that we were so dogmatic about that is that we do not want any more construction traffic coming off the spillway, onto Countryside Drive. I don't want any construction traffic coming on Countryside to build new houses in Palo Verde. I don't want them on Lake Terrace Drive, and I don't want them on Plantation Boulevard at all. All the construction traffic needs to go some other direction, and right now they don't have another direction because we're still waiting on a plat and a construction entrance.
Somebody just can't go to the building department and get a building permit.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir. Not without approved plat. We don't have a legal description. He can't sell a lot that hasn't been described on a plat.
Okay.
Now, he could break them off, Brad, and try to backdoor us by doing a meets and bounds type of description.
Make sure we will be able to catch.
Well, the first step in the process is with Miss Dana and addressing. Believe me, she's got this whole area red flagged. Anything coming out of these parcels as described, she's gonna catch. So there won't be an address issued. I don't think they'll ever even show up in Bryan's, because she's got the address first. So we've got it locked down pretty tight, but again, there's a step in the process that we're missing here. You guys have got to approve the plat. So I think I know what I need to do. Mr. President, I think the motion would be it's already on your agenda, and I think there's potential action with it. So it would be a motion to authorize this solution that Tim mentioned to you guys, some short-term relief to the residents of Palo Verde subdivision that includes about $25,000 worth of asphalt to help stabilize the roads out there and get these people access to their properties. And then authorizing me as legal counsel to pursue an enforcement of the settlement agreement through court.
Yes.
That would be the motion.
So I think Mike had something he wants to say.
We had that under our truck ordinance, and that way we can.
Yes, I meant to ask Scott if now's the appropriate time. Okay, was that on consent? Okay. Y'all have already established no truck route, so we do have enforcement. In the event we find construction traffic on any of those roads that I just mentioned, you've already acted to declare those no truck, and under your no truck ordinance, they can be charged with a misdemeanor offense, heavy fine, potential jail time.
All right, you had styled a motion. Do you want to go over it again?
Yes, sir. So the motion would be to authorize the road manager and the consulting engineer to come up with a solution, a short-term temporary solution, up to and including $25,000 worth of of repairs for the streets that have been named, Del Rio and Plantation, and authorize legal counsel to act immediately to enforce the settlement agreement against Mr. Edwards.
And so if they go over 25,000, they need to come back to us?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
That's my motion.
All right. Scott makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Brad seconds the motion. Any other discussion? I have one thing, and I'd like to say is to Mr. Woods or whoever that lives out there, it's our desire to get this done and done right, to get the plat and to enforce the settlement to where the county gets paid back
Yes,
for straightening out somebody else's mess.
yes, sir.
All right, now then, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Hicks.
Good morning.
Good morning. Item A is acknowledgement of receipt of qualifications for our energy service providers to provide energy conservation equipment services under an energy services contract for Rankin County. We received two requests for qualifications, one from Path Company and one from Upchurch Services. We're just asking the board to acknowledge receipt of those.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Brad makes the motion, Jay seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion
And
passes.
we'll take these under advisement and report back to you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Pittman. You've got quite a list.
Got quite a list of folks here, too.
But you've done all the homework,
Uh,
so it'll go
most
pretty
of it,
fast.
but we're in the bid opening phase right now.
Man, I need better glasses. Someone can have mine if you have better glasses than I do. 'Cause I can't.
Our first bid is for bridge installation and bridge components. We had, our first bidder is, or that, the bridge installation is Hemp Hill. Our second bidder for bridge installation is Key LLC. And we will take those in under advisement and recap those and present them at our next meeting. Okay? Our second bid is for asphalt. Our first bid is Ergon.
So this is the second page.
This will be for a
Yeah.
motion, this will be for a motion, Jay.
Third page, Jay.
All right.
Second and third page. Actually, a motion is probably only third page. And there's from item number 1 through 13, it's no bid. Item number 14 is $2.90 a gallon delivered. Item number 15 is 3.34 gallons delivered. Item number 16 is $3.20 gallon delivered. Item number 17 is $2.95 gallon delivered.
What was 14?
290, try to give it to you.
14 was $2.90.
Our next bid is for asphalt products, unlimited. And
So what item number is these gonna be?
this is only one item. Item number 14 is $3.29.
Said 229.
329.
All right, our next bidder for asphalt is Sunbelt Sealing, and it is down to item number 11. For cleaning and sealing of cracks is $1.30. And item number 12 is cleaning and sealing of cracks larger than 1.5 inches, $6.50. Item number 12 is $6.50. Item number 13 is $10. And then that's it for Sunbelt. All right. Our next bid is AJ Construction. Okay. Item number 1, base course, is $105. Item number 2, SC1 type 8 is $105. Item number 3 is 9.55 millimeter is $105. FOB BBI 1 is $69. Item number 5 is $74. Item number 6 is $70. Item number 7 is $115. Item number 8 is $115. Item number 9 is $108.
Hey, what was item number 6?
Item number 6,
70.
70. All right. And item number 10 is 35. And that's it for that AJ's bid. All right. We have, next bidder is AdCamp. Item number 1 is $116. Item number 2 is $121. Item number 3 is $121. Item number 4 is $73. Item number 5 is $82. Item number 6 is $83. Item number 7 is $175. Item number 8 is $175. Item number 9 is $121. Item number 10 is $48. And that's the rest of that. Okay, that's a good copy.
Dixon and Bowen here.
Our next bidder is Dickerson and Bowen. Item number 4 is the beginning of the bid, $72.
Oh, 4?
Yeah, number 4, item number 4,
Gotcha.
$72. Item number 5 is 82. Item number 6 is $79.50. And it jumps, and that's it.
I only have 3, 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6.
That's all they bid.
That's it for, that is it for asphalt. Our next bid is for, scrub seal, slurry seal, microsurfacing, and microsurfacing modified. Our first bid is for Vance Brothers, and, it is, item 1 is no bid, item 2 is no bid, item 3 is no bid. Multiplied asphalt is, item number 4 is $8. Aggregate type 2,
Wait, number 4?
no.
If you'll go to your first page, John?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
first, it's the first page.
Across the top,
This is
right
item
there.
number, this is the bid number, 2530-303.
Number 3 down, all
Yeah.
right.
Polypropylene culverts, right?
No,
All right.
Scrub,
Right.
slurry
Micro-
seal,
micro
and
scrubbing.
micro.
Yeah, I'm looking, which one did they,
So
which
this
one did
is
they bid
Vance?
on?
yeah,
Vance
man,
Micro
Brothers.
modified,
Micro modified.
yeah,
be 4A.
4A, but that's not on y'all's list.
We're on this page now.
Oh, it's
All
not
right.
on your list.
Okay,
Okay.
so, we have the bidders is Vance Brothers, and then the other bidder is T.L. Wallace
So
Construction.
go ahead and read out those numbers anyway.
Okay, I will. 4A is emulsified asphalt, and it's $8. 4B is aggregate type, 2, it's 95. 4C is $127.22. That's for Vance.
All right,
All right, T.L. Wallace is, 4A is $9.50, 4B is $111.25, and there's nothing on 4C. Okay?
well, that tells us what we need to know.
All right. Okay. Our next bid is, for 304 metal covers. And our bidder is Southern Pipe.
No, bids altogether, we'll take this under
Right,
advisement.
okay. Our next one is J&G Culverts. Okay.
Take it under advisement
Yeah.
also.
Typically, they're giving us all manner of sizes and types and whatever, it's too much detail for us to go over.
About
in
100
here.
line items, if you wanna call it
Yeah.
that.
Take it under advisement.
All right, our next bidder is for culverts, metal culverts, is G&O Supply.
G&O, what it say,
You know,
Me too.
Good thing I thought of it first.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna take this under metal covers under advisement. Okay? The next bid is for, polypropylene culverts.
Here's
Yeah, yeah. All right. And we're gonna take that one under advisement also.
Quit.
Who was that one from?
I quit.
Gino, yeah, they did one for metal and, this one is, for, Southern Pipe on the polypropylene. We'll take that under advisement. All right. Our next one is J&G Culvers. And we have a bid from Coburn Supply for polypropylene. The next bid is for crushed aggregates.
There shouldn't be much on this.
We have one from True Hall LLC. Okay. We have limestone is, number 5 limestone is 100.50. And the job site is $112.75. Number 6 limestone is $106.25, and for the job site is $118.50. Number 7 limestone is $102.25. Number 2 job site is $114.50. Number 89 limestone is $79.75, and job site is $87.75. 610 limestone is $76.25. And $84.25 for job site. The 100-pound riprap is $86 at delivered to the shop, and then $96 at job site. 200 riprap is $99.75 at delivered to the shop, and then $109.75 at the.
Here, what was the 610 again?
610 was $76.25 for the Brandon shop and $84.25 at the job site. All right. Rankin County limestone. Bid for 610 limestone is $53 at shop, 45 plus 28 cents a ton mile, and FOB per ton at their location is 45. And the 200 riprap is $70 at the shop to the shop, $60 plus 28 cents ton miles if that's at the job site, and $60 at the FOB at the shop, at their location. Okay.
That was $70 at the shop on 200, right?
Right. All right, Warren Paving is our next bidder at, for aggregates. Number 5 limestone is $53.30 at our shop, $36.50 plus 28 cents a mile at the job site, and $36.50 at their location. Number 6 loads of limestone is $53.30. $36.50 plus the 28 cents meant at the job site, $36.50 at the FOB per ton. Number 7 limestone is $58.80. It's $42 plus 28 cents a mile at the job site and $42 at the FOB per ton. Number 89 limestone is $58.80. $42 plus 28 cents a mile. $42 FOB per ton. 610 limestone is $51.80. Job site is $35 plus 28 cents a mile. FOB per ton is $35. 100-pound riprap is $63.80 at the delivery at the shop, and $47 plus 28 cents a mile, 47 cents per ton at their location. 200-pound riprap is $63.80, $47 plus 28 cents a mile at the job site, and 47 cents FOB per ton at their location. Our next bid is for gravel. We have J&L Enterprises. Get my pocket line out.
I got an old timer in my pocket.
I got it.
I must not knew we was opening bids today.
Alright. J&L Enterprises, for wash gravel is $40. Delivery at the shop, and clay gravel is $19.50. And no bid for the, job site or FOB per ton. Alright. Fast Cat is our next bidder for gravel. Wash gravel is $44 per ton at the shop, $18.50. Clay gravel at the shop, wash gravel at the job site is $44, and clay gravel is $18.50 at the job site, and no delivery at their location. Merrimack is our next bidder for gravel, and it is wash gravel $66.83 at the shop, $66.83 at the job site, and $66.83 at their location. Clay gravel is $42.20 at the shop, $42.20 at their job site, and $42.20 at the at their location. All right. APAC is our bidder for gravel. Wash gravel is the only thing they bid on, and it's $38 per ton at the shop. Nothing, no bid for the job site, and $27 a ton at their location. Our soil stabilization is our next bid. We had one bidder for it. packet there, is our bidder.
There's only the ones?
Only one.
Ag camp.
Yeah, excuse me, Ad Camp.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes more
All right,
sense.
well, yeah, I'm sorry, Ad Camp. $7.50, Quick Lime, $8.50, Portland. Quick Lime is $3.75 per ton. Portland cement is $3.95 per ton. And last, but not least, we're down to polyurethane foam, and gutter removal. Concrete sidewalk is $10. This is Sunbelt Ceiling, excuse me.
Sunbelt?
Sunbelt Ceiling, concrete ceiling,
This is a foaming application.
yeah, yeah. And concrete gutter and, void filler is $10, per pound, and then, $7 for void filling.
10, 10, and 7.
Yeah, 10, 10, and 7. No bid on the curb and gutter removal and replacement. Veda Incorporated, DBA is Foremost Foundations Construction. Concrete sidewalks is $7.50, lifting per pound. Concrete curb and gutter leveling and lifting is $7.50 per pound. Void filling and undersealing per pound is $7.50. 24-inch gutter, curb and gutter linear foot replacement and removal is $48. 30-inch curb is per linear foot is $48. Bulldog is our next bidder, and it's $8.50 per pound for concrete sidewalks leveling. Concrete curb and gutter leveling is $8.50. Void filling and underseating is $8.50. 24-inch curb and gutter is $38 per linear foot, and 30-inch is $38 also. Where in building is
Who?
Waring.
What are they bidding on?
They're bidding on polyurethane foam.
Foam and curb.
Okay. Have you ever done business with them?
Yeah, they're our current vendor.
Okay. Is that right?
Looks like 950.
Looks like.
It's got, yeah, I guess it is $9.50. It's like $950,
Yes.
but I think it's $9.50.
50 cents.
Yeah, I think it's
And they
$9.50.
didn't put the period in it.
Yeah. So it's $9.50 for concrete, the sidewalk leveling, curb and gutter leveling and lifting, and the void filling. And then $45 for the curb gutter for 24 and 30 inch.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna say that's what they did.
And
You assume it's 950. I don't know how you would take it. It's not a period in it.
all right. Our last bid for polyfoam is Helms Polyfoam. It's concrete sidewalk and leveling is $8 per pound. Concrete curb and guttering is $8 a pound. Void filling and undersealing is $8 per pound. And then no bid on the curb and gutters. All right, that closes the bid opening. We'll all take these bids under review and we'll do a presentation for y'all's approval.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you. I'd like another.
Mr. President, we need a motion to take all of those under advisement and report back as per customary.
All right, Jay makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm gonna say Brad got it. Brad second that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes, take them under advisement and report back to us. Thank you, sir.
Any additional business?
I got one.
I
item.
knew it.
You heard earlier from our insurance representative, Mickey Watkins. So what I'd ask the board to do is, he's provided me with the renewal agreements. So if we could add authority to renew the Blue Cross Blue Shield and the reinsurance policies, authority for the board president and myself to sign those documents.
Motion to add those two items, or that item.
Second.
All right, Jay makes a motion to add, the authority for Keith to approve and the president to sign, contracts with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Thank you, Brad, second motion. All, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Oh, that's added. All right.
Make a motion to approve.
Brad makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Scott seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks, sir.
All right, we have a need.
Hey, I wanna ask one question, though, Mr. President. Where are we waiting on about getting our dumpsters finished, man? What, do we need to do something? I'm ready to see some concrete get poured, yeah. You or Tim one, whichever one of y'all wanna own up to it.
I thought you told Brian we're actually got the gravel in, we've got the parking places kinda staked off. Actually, I've got to get with, got the water line run. We gotta get utilities up and running, Jay. Gotta get some sewer run and some power there.
So can we not get our concrete done while we're waiting on all this?
We're working on that right now. I'm gonna have to lean on Tim on the wall.
I'm reviewing the wall plans now, on the concrete wall, the retaining wall.
Did you not do the plans, or somebody else does that?
We have a sub that does that.
Okay. So when we gonna be finished?
Well, that depends on how the wall comes in. If we can quote it, it's much quicker than if we have to go out for bids on it.
Alright,
If the county can buy the materials, we may quote it, we don't know the answer to that yet.
so the 16th, we'll be ready with that?
To discuss it.
To discuss it further, yes, we won't be, we won't have it advertised by.
No, I mean, but you'll have everything prepared by then?
Answers.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, okay. Alright,
Yeah, we just like buttoning up some details, but I mean, we do have the main site grassed and
I went
seeded.
out there yesterday, yeah.
Looks
We
good.
got a whole, yeah. Looks good. Looks good,
Just gotta finish it.
yeah. I guess that's our burner sitting out there?
That is our burner we got set up on that site. I've actually talked to City of Brandon about that. So we got to get some utilities going, and power's the main thing, trying to get it in the right place, Jay, before we do. But like I said, that's me reaching out to Energy this week and getting them into play. We actually kind of started, it's just gonna take a little bit to get that done.
10-4.
All right?
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, if there's no other additional business and we don't have a need to go in executive, do I have a motion to recess until December 9th?
Yeah, we need to recess to 1020 Center Point Boulevard on December the 9th at 11:30 a.m.
Motion?
Jay makes a motion.
Second.
Sid seconds the motion. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
I didn't receive that on